If you are scheduled to be on a video program at the studio at Enid Communications, there are a few things to know.
How was your weekend?
It varies depending on whether you are the host or a guest in a talk show, or if you are reading a script from the teleprompter. We'll try to cover all of this so that you have a better idea of what to expect when you come in. If you have any questions in advance, please feel free to call us at 580-616-7258. Request forms. We ask that shows be officially requested via online form. These can be found on our website, enid.org/communications. There's a community talk request form specific to that show, and there's a generic form for all other programs called Video Request Form. By filling out one of these forms, provided you are the one actually requesting the program, we have the opportunity to find out as much as possible in advance. For example, names and titles can be submitted here, so that, for a live show, the show's director can have that information plugged into the character generator. The form also inputs the show information into our log. Clothing. If you are appearing alone, in a PSA for example, you might be in front of the green screen, so it's a good idea to never wear green in the studio. If you know you will be in front of the black curtain, for example on City Update or Community Talk, then green is okay. But if in doubt, it is best to be safe. See the document, What Not to Wear on TV, for more information on the best and worst clothing to wear. You can give us a call at 580-616-7258 if you have any questions. Graphics PowerPoint. If you have a slideshow presentation that will be part of the program, please email that to us at least a couple hours in advance so that we have time to get it set up. Email attachments sometimes require unlocking by the IT department, which can add to the time needed to prepare. If you're providing a logo and/or other graphics, make sure they are as big as possible. Teleprompter scripts. If you will be reading a script from the teleprompter, please email that to us in advance. The teleprompter uses a text file, and there is usually some editing needed to correctly format the file for use. Come early. Plan to come around 15 minutes before the scheduled showtime. This will give us time to get you on the set and mic'd up before the show starts. Pre-show. Here's what will happen before the show starts. You may be asked for your name and title for graphics purposes, depending on if the show is live. We like to collect this information in advance via form, but sometimes we have to do so at the last minute. You will be directed to a seat on set by the show director. Depending on the program, certain seats may be reserved specifically for the host. Tip: please do not move your chair. Even an inch or two can make a big difference in the way the set looks on screen. Sometimes you may feel in very close proximity to another person, but on TV it looks like a normal distance. A lapel mic, also called a lavalier mic, will be attached to your clothing by the director or other crew member. They may ask you to run the mic up underneath your shirt, depending on your wardrobe. If you are wearing a jacket or vest, the mic will likely be clipped onto that. Sometimes we have to be creative in attaching microphones, but one thing is consistent. We don't want to see any more of the cable than possible, so it will always be hidden in some way by your clothing. The director will adjust cameras after everyone is on set. Cameras are adjusted according to each person's height and how they sit in the chair, so this can be accomplished only after everyone is seated. The cameras we now use are PTZ, which is pan, tilt, zoom, types that are remotely controlled from the control room. Tip: it is best to sit back comfortably in your chair and avoid too much movement during the show.
Can I have an audio level check?
The director will ask for an audio check.
Larissa,
When you speak to test your mic, speak in a normal voice just like you will during the program. You might want to tell your name, your title, any other information that might be useful to the director, such as social security numbers, safe combinations, Swiss bank account numbers, etc., so that he has time to set levels and EQ if needed. Usually a bit more than
Testing 1, 2, 3
is required. If you are uneasy giving out sensitive personal information, you may quote a section of the Declaration of Independence or Alice's Restaurant. The director will typically have set things up as much as possible before everyone arrives. This includes things like streaming credentials, PowerPoint computer and files, picture-in-picture layouts, teleprompter, lighting, graphics, titles, etc. But sometimes we are surprised by something at the last minute and require time to make adjustments.
how was your weekend?
Surprises can include an unexpected person on set, special props, dinosaur costumes, and the like. You may sit on set for several minutes while nothing appears to be happening, but there are many details the director must attend to before the show begins, especially if the show is being live streamed. Tip: studio lights are very bright to ensure a high-quality video image. Fortunately, the LED lights used these days are not hot. The show. Each program produced at Enid Communications is a little different from the others. Some are live streamed, some are recorded live, some are simply recorded and edited in post-production. There is every variation. Generally, if the show is live streamed, it will begin with a standby graphic that you will see on the 3 monitors on the set. This graphic gives us time to get the live stream started on Facebook and YouTube. The director will tell you over the intercom to stand by, and once the live streams are going and confirmed, the director will collect his thoughts, take a deep breath, and then roll the video open, which you will see and hear in the studio. Opens are typically only 10 or 15 seconds long. As soon as the open dissolves to the studio set, which is usually the wide shot, the show has begun and the host can start talking. The director will take different camera shots as needed throughout the show. If you are operating a PowerPoint presentation on set, the director will take either a full screen view of that or a picture-in-picture view showing the presentation and your camera, or the camera on whoever is talking. If you want to see the presentation on the screen and the director is not showing it on the screen,
and so if you want to go ahead and put that slide on, that would be great.
Just ask for it.
This is the beginning phases.
The red lights next to the cameras are tally lights. When one is lit, that means the camera next to it is the one currently active. If you want to look at a camera when you're talking, then find the one with the tally light. This will be either the middle one, which is typically a wide shot, or the one directly in front of you, which is your close-up camera. For the most part, talk shows are more natural when you just look at the other person on set. If the monitors are on in the studio, and we purposefully turn them on or off depending on the type of show, you will see the shot that is active. There will be a slight delay, however, maybe 150 milliseconds. It is best not to watch the monitor during the whole show. If you turn and look at the front monitor, it will be obvious that you aren't looking at the camera or the other person on set, and it will look a bit awkward. The wing monitors, the ones on the sides, are better in the sense that when you look at the one opposite you, it looks to the viewing audience like you are looking at the other person. If you want to face the audience, you may glance at the front monitor or see it peripherally. But what you really want to look at is the camera with the lit tally light. We suggest that studio shows be kept to around 10 or 15 minutes long, but there are no hard rules these days. If you want to keep track of time, you are welcome to use the timer on your smartphone. Just make sure you mute the ringer. These days, we have omitted the floor director position from the studio, so there will not likely be anyone to give cues as there used to be.
We want everyone to enjoy their holiday, enjoy their families.
To wrap up the show, just make it plain that you are doing so for several seconds, so the director has time to prepare the closing sequence. Some shows, such as Community Talk, don't have a specific end procedure other than to take the wide shot. The actual ending is affected in the editor in post-production.
Bye, guys.
But on live stream shows, there will be some sort of closing video or graphic that the director will take when he knows that you have finished. There are graphics changes to make and audio faders to pull down, about 147 things all at the same time. So giving the director a bit of warning that you are about to wrap it up is a good idea.
We can't wait to see you.
When you have said goodbye, or whatever your last words are,
Great. See you soon.
remain looking at the camera for a few seconds.
And have a good day. Oh my gosh.
Don't immediately look elsewhere or start talking. Even if the director is really on top of the timing of your closing, there will be a couple of seconds elapse in which he confirms you are finished and dissolves from the camera to the close. Hopefully this information will be helpful when you come to the studio. Again, if you have any questions about any of this, please call us at 580-616-7258. For technical questions, reach out to one of our television directors.